When a pope draws his last breath, ancient traditions immediately spring into action. The responsibility of officially verifying the death falls to the Camerlengo of the Holy Roman Church. This cardinal, a trusted administrator, enters the papal apartments. He is accompanied by the master of papal liturgical celebrations and other officials. The atmosphere is one of profound solemnity and historical weight. The Camerlengo approaches the Pope's bedside. He calls out the Pope's baptismal name 3 times. If there is no reply after the 3rd call, the Pope is declared deceased. The Camerlengo then makes the official pronouncement, Ver Papa mortuus est. Truly the Pope is dead. This declaration sets in motion a cascade of procedures. The Secretary of State is informed, as are the Cardinal Dean and other key figures within the Roman Curia. The news then begins its carefully managed spread. The papal apartments are sealed by the Camerlengo to prevent any unauthorized access. A crucial early symbolic act is the destruction of the fisherman's ring, marking the definitive end of his reign. This ring, a powerful emblem of his authority, is destroyed to signify the end of his pontificate. Following the private verification and initial rites, the Camerlengo makes the public announcement of the Pope's death. This news is conveyed to the Cardinal Vicar of Rome, who then informs the people of Rome. Simultaneously, the Vatican officially communicates the news to the world. Church bells in Rome, particularly the great bell of St. Peter's Basilica, may toll mournfully. This public declaration marks the beginning of an official period of mourning throughout the Catholic Church. The faithful around the globe are invited to pray for the soul of the deceased pontiff. The Church then enters a period known as the Novem Dialis, 9 consecutive days of official mourning. Special requiem masses are celebrated daily in St. Peter's Basilica and other major basilicas in Rome. The body of the late Pope is prepared and dressed in pontifical vestments. He is then brought to St. Peter's Basilica to lie in state, allowing the public to pay their respects. Lines of mourners often stretch for hours through St. Peter's Square. The burial of the Pope usually takes place within 4 to 6 days after his death. The funeral Mass is a grand and solemn occasion, typically held in St. Peter's Square. Following the Mass, the Pope's body is interred in the crypt beneath St. Peter's Basilica. Traditionally, the Pope is buried in a series of 3 coffins, symbolizing humility, protection, and dignity. With the Pope's death and burial, the Holy See enters a period known as sede vacante. This Latin term means the see being vacant or the chair being empty. During sede vacante, the ordinary governance of the Universal Church is effectively suspended. The day-to-day administration of the Vatican City-State and the Holy See falls to the Cardinal Camerlengo. However, his powers are strictly limited to safeguarding the temporal rights and property of the Holy See. All heads of the dicasteries of the Roman Curia cease from their office, except for the Cardinal Camerlengo, the major penitentiary, and the Cardinal Vicar of Rome. The main task of the College of Cardinals during sede vacante is to prepare for the election of the new Pope. They hold daily meetings called General Congregations to discuss the affairs of the Church and the arrangements for the upcoming conclave. This period allows the cardinals to consult with one another and to begin discerning the qualities needed in the next pontiff. It is a time of intense activity behind the Vatican's ancient walls. Section 4. Gathering in secrecy the sacred conclave. The conclave is the assembly of cardinals gathered to elect the new Bishop of Rome, the Pope. Only cardinals who have not reached their 80th birthday before the day the apostolic see becomes vacant are eligible to vote. These cardinal electors travel to Rome from all corners of the world. Once the preparations are complete, the cardinal electors process into the Sistine Chapel. Before the doors are sealed, the cardinals take a solemn oath to observe the rules of the conclave and to maintain absolute secrecy. The master of papal liturgical celebrations gives the order extra omnis. Everybody out. All those not directly involved in the conclave must leave. The doors are then locked from both the inside and the outside. The voting process itself is highly structured and prayerful. Generally, up to 4 ballots can be held each day. Each cardinal writes the name of his chosen candidate on a rectangular ballot paper, folds it twice, and places it in an urn. The outcome of each ballot is communicated to the outside world through smoke signals. Black smoke signals an unsuccessful vote, while white smoke signals a successful election. In recent conclaves, bells have also been rung to confirm the white smoke, avoiding any confusion. This simple yet powerful signal alerts the waiting crowds in St. Peter's Square and the world that a new pope has been chosen. Section 5. A new pontiff, the Habemus Papam announcement. When the white smoke finally billows from the chimney atop the Sistine Chapel, a wave of excitement and joy sweeps through St. Peter's Square. The crowd erupts in cheers and applause. Inside the Sistine Chapel, the Dean of the College of Cardinals formally asks the elected candidate if he accepts the papacy and by what name he wishes to be known. Once the elected cardinal accepts and chooses his papal name, he is officially the Pope. The new Pope then retreats to the Room of Tears, where he is dressed in one of 3 sets of white papal robes. Meanwhile, the Cardinal Camerlengo and other officials prepare for the public announcement. The senior cardinal deacon appears on the central balcony of St. Peter's Basilica, known as the Loggia of the Blessings. He addresses the cheering crowd and the world with the traditional Latin announcement, Annuntio vobis gaudium magnum habemus papam. I announce to you a great joy, we have a pope. He then reveals the baptismal name of the newly elected cardinal and the papal name he has chosen. This formal declaration is met with renewed cheers and often the ringing of church bells throughout Rome. Finally, the new pope himself steps out onto the balcony. He is greeted by an immense roar from the assembled faithful. He delivers his first words as pontiff and imparts his first apostolic blessing, Urbi et Orbi, to the city of Rome and to the world. With this public appearance and blessing, the new pope formally begins his pontificate, ensuring the continuity of leadership in the Catholic Church.